So
Absolutely.
you do homeschooling. How many kids do you have?
I have two kids. My eldest is 5 years old, Arian, and my youngest is 13 months.
So
Yeah.
do you speak English or Spanish at home?
I speak English. I do need to incorporate more Spanish. My Spanish is terrible. I can survive. If you drop me in Ecuador right now, I'll be able to like get food and like survive, but it's not eloquent enough to carry on a conversation, you know, too long. But I do want to incorporate that more, I guess is what I'm saying.
I'm very grateful that you were probably the first person who answered when I threw up that little challenge.
Right.
And as a result of that, we're here talking
Yeah, I
about
mean,
homeschooling.
yeah, to be honest with you, it's one of the things I can make myself available for. Like there's so much going on and so much I want to help out with, but I know I'm limited in the sense of time. But this is completely around, on my journey. This is along my way. So I figure, hey, this is a great place for me to channel whatever stuff I'm doing and be productive. This is definitely something that suits me.
Yes.
So I try to answer
And
the
so you're the principal and your wife is the teacher, or how does that work?
I love that analogy. I'm gonna ask her. My theory of it is probably different than hers. She probably thinks she's the principal or whatever it is. But so I was doing it. Well, when I was working in the fire alarm industry, security alarm industry, she was homeschooling him for a little bit until we had our second baby, and then when I quit my job in January, I just took on the task to say, hey, or I'll do it myself right now. And then eventually I got so busy that I was like, hey, you know what? This is something great for you, because I was trying to give her. So basically my whole theory behind it, or my thinking behind it, was she spent so much time with the kids at home while I was working. She did homeschooling. So I was like, let me do this. You take a breather, you just hang out with the baby and whatever it is. And then eventually we got to the point where I was like, hey, you're missing out on a lot of stuff. You might want to jump back in. So we both carry the same load. And honestly, I would say she is not carrying a different load, but we have different loads to carry, but they're very equivalent. And she is very good. I'm very proud of how because this was kind of my project. This was my baby, homeschooling. I took this on and I plunged in, and she came along. So yeah.
Wonderful.
So
yeah, it's a tremendous opportunity to form and to shape the minds of your children and the next generation.
Yeah.
It's not
Absolutely.
Just leaving the next generation for grabs. It's to be intentional and what kind of continuity you want to give to the next generation.
I love that word, yeah, continuity.
So congratulations. I wanted to ask you, what material do you use for homeschooling? Obviously, your youngest is 5 years old, so
right.
Is it a girl or a boy?
Sorry, they're both boys.
They're both boys. Okay.
Arian and Caden is the youngest baby.
Obviously, you're just beginning to teach him how to read and write. Is that correct?
Correct. Exactly.
And how are they doing? Is he reading and writing?
So we would have been here if we weren't on lockdown, in this quarantine situation. We were supposed to be in Florida by now. So we already had
That's right. Oh, Pablo, when you come to Florida, you have to make sure that you come to my apartment.
Yeah,
I want to have
talk about that. Also, right.
I want to have you over for dinner and get to know your wife.
Yes,
and if there is anything that I can do, if you guys, if you're close enough, I can homeschool too.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about
there are so many
I'd
things.
love to talk about that.
Yeah, there's so many things that we can do as a community that parents alone do not have to do. There's so many other resources that we can tap at in the community. So going back to my question, is he reading and writing?
So yeah, I guess that's where I kind of took this off tangent. So he's beginning to learn all of those things, and We have some great curriculum that my sister recommended that I am just.
What curriculum are you using?
So I guess I'll start with this. The first thing I would recommend, or I'm no expert. I've been doing this for several years, but one of the things that really help as a foundation is this book called Hold On to Your Kids. I've read so many parenting books. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. I don't have the author's name on the top, but that is by far one of the best parenting books I've ever read, and the only one I will ever need to read because I pretty much got the gist after that. It's the holy grail of parenting books, and I've read my fair share. So anyway, I recommend that's like if any new parents are
Hold On to Your Children is the name?
Hold On to Your Children is the name, yes. So that's like prerequisite. You know, if obviously there's many other things, but from my perspective and what my bubble is, that is the where I would start first. Then as far as like the curriculum, right now I have like my little curriculum that I have for him. So I use a lot of Kumon. Kumon is great. They have curriculum from kindergarten all the way to, you know, high school, I believe. So Kumon, right now, this is numbers and games that I use for him. So typically we'll do one of these. We mix and match our curriculum. So we have Kumon. We have, this is highly recommended. It's the Critical Thinking Company. And shout out to my sister, Alex. She really helped me along the way. Critical Thinking Company. We're teaching our kids to critically think. And this right here, this curriculum in general, they have curriculum categories all across: mathematics, critical thinking, English, all types of stuff. Just them alone, great stuff. Right now, he's on level A, mathematical reasoning. This is his math book. And then for the phonics and reading, so basically everything we use is very simple. It doesn't take much preparation, including the phonics. It is the cream de la creme. Like, I haven't seen anything like this. ABeCeDarian for teaching children. It goes from kindergarten all the way, I believe. This curriculum right here for reading and writing and phonics, it is just, it's very simple. It gets to the point. It doesn't, overstimulate children too much, because what happens in typical, English and grammar, we throw so much jargon at them instead of just like really getting into it. So ABeCEDarian is great. Not much preparation here. They give you a workbook. So this is the workbook, and this is the student workbook. You can see with the glare. But
where do you get these materials? If anyone is interested in getting those, where can they go?
So with ABeCEDarian, they typically send you to their Amazon like page. With mathematical reasoning, I get it from their website. I don't think they work with Amazon, but I recommend people try to avoid Amazon as much as possible. And Kumon I get from Amazon. So this Kumon you could get from Amazon. Mathematical reasoning, or the Critical Thinking Company, they have a good website that they sell from, and ABeCEDarian, Amazon. So most of it is Amazon, but I still have a few more. I'm almost done with the curriculum that we have for him now. That's going to change, and I'm sure, linking up with you guys, I'm going to have more access to different curriculum and different things, because so as far as like reading and extracurricular, so I could go through this. The gifted learning flashcards are phenomenal. These are great. They have like a whole series of them, and it's basically, it's critical thinking, and it also helps kids for like testing and like certain tests that they have out there. I forget the test name, but it's really good for that. If you're like looking at put your kids through tests and stuff like that. I just think the flashcards are great. And then as far as like extracurricular, for like history, it's a lot for him. He's 5 years old. Howard's in the comic version of A People's History. It's pretty cool. It's a little graphic, but hey, he's already watching, stuff on TV where they're attacking each other and all types of stuff. So I'm like, hey, I might as well jump into that. Also, the Tuttle Twins. Have you heard of the Tuttle Twins?
No. What is it?
Okay, so the Tuttle Twins is another great series of books that is written by this. I'm pretty sure Richard knows of him. He did a book. We just read a book. It was Education Vacation. It was dedicated to John Taylor Gatto. So I don't have it on me, but I have all of them downstairs. But it's basically a children's book, and it teaches ethics. It teaches, philosophy, basic non-aggression principles and stuff like that. All the things that we kind of work on in our community. It teaches it so that it's palatable for children. And it's a colorful book, short reads, but they teach a lot of principles. They're typically for like 6 and up. It's a little early for my son, but I always jump the gun.
Wonderful.
Also, hold on. For like, I also involve physical exercise for his curriculum. So like when my wife homeschools him, and we're privileged in that sense that he has two homeschooling teachers, and we both have different ways to look at teaching him. So typically when my wife homeschools him, she has like her set curriculum and I have like a different set. I don't even have my curriculum up here actually. This was my wife because she taught him today. So my curriculum is a little different, same kind of brands or whatnot, but so I'll do exercise. So she doesn't do exercise with him. I do exercise, and I use this exercise app called ABeCeDarian that I use typically for myself, but it has so many different exercises. And like right now I'm teaching him like boxing, like rhythm and stuff like that. Really simple for him, but it's a cool app if you like. I exercise from home because I don't too lazy to go to the gym and this, that, and that. So I'll do that, the ABeCeDarian exercise. And also I incorporate, it was something else I had on my mind that I was gonna share. Do the physical exercise, you got the flashcards. Oh, computer coding.
Nice.
Is a really awesome program. This like thing called Osmo, and it teaches coding to kids, and it is so cool. I'm sure a lot of people probably heard of it, but it's computer coding, and it's just they have so many different interactive games, and it's just you just want to expose as much as possible. But that's pretty much it. That's what I have so far.
Excellent. Can you send me a list of those resources?
Absolutely.
So that when I'm editing this video, I can incorporate the images of those so people will be able to follow that?
Sure, no problem. I would love to do that. That's matter of fact, that's what I had in mind. If I had the time to get here a little earlier, I would have had that all like on a paper and sent to you, but I was scrambling, so we'll get to that.
That's all right. We'll get it done. So do you see yourself when you come to Florida? Do you see yourself like forming like a co-op where you can be a resource for parents that either are already homeschooling or they have a desire to homeschool?
That's a great question. I thought about it. There is this Agile Learning Center in Florida, in Tampa. There's one here in New York as well. I mentioned that the other day in one of the Q&As, that they have this program where they allow people in the community to come and teach. And I see that there's something already established. And I'm not sure what my expiration date is in Florida as far as like how long I'm going to be there. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot we got to get. There's a lot we have to go through. That's for a different day. But I definitely want to put myself in a position to be in a community, or if there's something, or if there is a gap or something, be someone to fill the gap. But yeah, I guess short answer is yes.
You're open to it.
I'm open to. I'm definitely open. It's something on my mind, I would say. Sometimes I speak, or my brain works faster, too fast, and I will say something and I'll be like, Pablo, slow down. You have a lot already on your plate. But I'm open to it. I guess I could say I'm definitely open to it. It's on my mind.